Hi, I'm Michael Smith for Nevada Trails. Tonight I have a very special show. I have Lori Harden of Soaring NV, and the reason I have this magazine up there is we're always talking about sustainability, and she has a gliding company that's in the papers and pictures and magazines a lot for being so beautiful, but sometimes I'm not sure if they get the credit they deserve for being a true sustainable company in our Carson Valley region. And so thank you for being on the show.
Oh, well, thanks for having me.
And I just think you've got the perfect company in the perfect location in the world.
Oh, wow.
You have all those mountains, and congratulations. I stopped by the other day, and you have you're in a new building, too.
Well, for people who have visited us before, we've always been in the big blue hangar, which is just that. It's a hangar. It's a big, dusty hangar. What else can you say about it? But now we have offices that we have running water. We have bathrooms, we have heat and air conditioning, we have an actual classroom where you can go and have some quiet, you don't hear all the takeoffs and landings, and you can actually learn some stuff. We have a new flight simulator that we're integrating into our training program. We have a great shade-covered deck.
I saw the shade cover. He was still I think, putting, I don't know, something on it.
Yeah,
painting it.
Yeah, it's been a process.
Protection, but it's big.
Yeah.
And that should be a nice viewing area, I would guess.
Well, it's great for events, and we want to be sort of an oasis at the airport, sort of a gathering place, more than just a glider school. So I think we're moving in that direction. But you know how moving is. You get all discombobulated, and where do you hang things? Where do you put things? But I think we're really making that space ours, and we're starting to get some good feedback on it.
You're going pretty fast. I was very comfortable when I was there. And first thing I thought of is when I go to your blue hangar, you have a lot of people that kind of hang around. So you're going to have a lot of people hanging around there, too. Also, another thing I thought of was you had showers. And I know as a tourist, or if I drive a long place, and maybe in my camper to your place, you get people cleaned up, and they go out for a gliding ride.
Well, there's a segment of the glider community that tours around during the season, which is basically May through September, and they like to pull up in their motorhome, towing their glider in its trailer, and they put their glider together and they park their motorhome in the campground there, and they stay for a week.
And they're right at the airport.
Yeah. So having a shower for them and a kitchen and just some facilities to get them out of their motorhome a little bit, it's just one more way that we are hoping to welcome the glider community to Minden.
Well, you do a fantastic job. How did the Wave Camp go this last one?
Wave Camp was amazing last year.
Because that's when you have people all over the world come to visit.
Yeah, we do. We're getting known for that as we were in the past known for Wave Camp.
Yes.
And people do come from all over the United States and all over the world. And the thing that I always puzzle with is, we can control the curriculum and the staffing and the equipment, but we can't control the weather. So if you come for Wave Camp, we may or may not actually have wave. Well, last year we had wave every day.
Oh, surf's up.
I know. And a couple of the days there was too much wind on the ground to safely operate, so we actually couldn't fly.
Oh.
But we had beautiful clouds, beautiful weather, beautiful winds the whole time, and people did some great flying.
Well, every time I see a wave, I always think someone surfs up, people are having fun, and it's you guys, because that's the jazz. I was at one of the wave camps where all of a sudden people said, We're going flying. It's over.
Well, and thermal flying is pretty predictably afternoon once the sun has a chance to heat up the atmosphere and kind of get those thermals cooking. Wave you can have any time of day. You can wake up to it. We could have wave at 8 o'clock and it could be gone by noon. So if we're planning lectures and learning and classes on safety and oxygen and high altitude stuff, well, if you've got these people who've come in, who've traveled 6,000 miles, they don't want to sit in a classroom if there's wave happening. So we need to have this structure, but this flexibility to really do what the weather demands. So it's we have to be loose.
Well, that's pure heaven, actually.
Yeah.
That's pure heaven. Well, we were chatting beforehand, and you're real proud of developing a youth soaring program. And I think that's fantastic. Anything to do with young people.
Well, we started what we call the Minden Youth Soaring Academy, and this year we had to really push ourselves to do it because we had a very busy summer, but we wanted to get it started. So we had 3 youths. 2 of them have soloed. One of them soloed on his...
Soloed?
Mm-hmm. One of them They're both 14, and one of them soloed on his 14th birthday.
I guess I thought you had to be 15.
You can solo when you're 14. You can't get your license till you're 16,
Okay.
but you can fly solo for 2 years. So these kids they were so much fun, and there's a lot of talk in the soaring community at large right now about the graying of the soaring community and the shrinking of the sport. You know, there's a lot of ways to get airborne these days with light sport and motor gliders and all sorts of things that are not pure gliders. I don't believe it. I think that in the best soaring site in the world, here in Minden, the Lake Tahoe area, youths here should be involved in soaring. They should know that we are a mecca for that, and I think we need to make it affordable and safe and fun, and I think we're going to have a very popular program coming up. We're also working with the Minden Soaring Club to have a scholarship program.
Oh, right.
So we're going to give pricing considerations. So we're going to work out a special pricing scheme for the youth, but they can also apply for a scholarship through the Minden Soaring Club to pay for their flying.
Well, I think that's so cool. If you're 14 and you're ready to go flying and your friends are talking about doing something silly, go soaring. It'll be the best thing you ever did. Last year we had my stepdad, we got him a ride, and he was so happy when we went back home to Florida. He told the villages, it was on the front page of the newspaper, how much fun he had, because that's how much his passion is. And then the year before we sent my mother-in-law flying, and I swear to God, she turned into a 16-year-old kid coming out of right when she got out of the end of the ride. You can't get those feelings unless as a person watching it, I would just get the shivers just thinking about it. So that's what you kind of provide. And if you're 14, you're starting off right. Why save it for your bucket list when you can do it at 14?
Well, I learned to fly as a middle-aged woman, and I soloed on my 81st flight.
Wow.
Now, that may not mean, to put that in context for you, some of these kids can do it after 20 or 30 flights.
Well,
so I was at the far end of the spectrum, the learning spectrum. People my age want to be really careful. We need lots of repetition. These kids take to it like it's refreshing, really, to see how quickly
well, that's
they
what I
take it.
understand. The younger, the better for your reactions and just being able to do it. So I'm real proud of you, though, for doing it, too, completing the goal. and you have your own company.
Yeah, I kind of spiraled out of control getting it. Yeah.
Oh, you've been having a lot of fun?
Yeah, I think what we do well is customer service. And I tell my staff regularly, this is a sport, damn it. And if people don't leave this organization feeling good about having been here, we're not doing our job. And I don't care if you're ground crew watching a loved one fly, or if you're going for your first flight, or if you're taking lessons, working towards your license. It's a feel-good thing, and people come to enjoy themselves. So we try to just let that spirit invade what we do, and I think when you do visit us, you'll see that we love what we do. Everybody who works for me enjoys glider flying, and they love people, and I think have you had a good feeling when you've been there?
100%, and when I talked to Brad, he's one of the people I really hadn't talked to a lot in the past, but he's always been very cordial, and I talked to him with Justin and Jimmy, and Jimmy was so excited, he was taking pictures outside the window. And that's a good feeling. And then Brad gave us a tour, and I just wanted to get some literature to kind of help me with the interview. And he said, no, let's give you a tour. He stopped what he was doing. And then we met the tech man. He's a nice young man. And
is that Sam?
Yes, I think it's Sam. And then it's a great feeling there. And your new place is awesome. And you can go there with a wheelchair. You can go right up the ramp. And
yep.
It was cool, and it was kind of a warm day, and it was nice and cool. And but the feeling is I stopped. I came back in with a loaf of bread because that's what I kind of do. It's my way of saying thank you, breaking bread. And I thought everybody was very, very nice to us. So I think your training program is quite well, because it is a self-discipline to have people saying hi all the time and smiling. Mm-hmm. And I know when I go to the supermarket, I always smile because I know sometimes the people aren't used to it. Customers are smile, and you get a reaction. And it's usually a smile. So I think you're doing the right thing.
Well, and I always think that people do business with people. So be a person, whatever person you are, and know that the person you're dealing with is also a person. So just let them be. Be curious about them, about why they're visiting, where they've come from, what brought them to soaring, what it means to them. For some people, it is a bucket list item, and it's just, they've been building up the nerve to do it for weeks or months.
Well, we had been sneaky with Linda. We did it as a 70th birthday present. So she knew about it the day before. And she was white. I mean, when you see the pictures, she's completely white just thinking about it. And then I shot pictures that day, the progression of the whole day. And we got down there, and you made her feel at ease within, I don't know, a few minutes. And I think you had a nice, comfortable couch, and you had just beautiful pictures of soaring film that you already had. And it was so peaceful. By the time she got to the setup, she was already fine. There was no second thoughts, nothing. It was just, let's get going type thing.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of time. But so I was real happy because her daughter was very, very nervous of her mom going up, just because that's her birthday present. You want it to be the best special thing, and you guys made it very special. And
well, we tell people if you're nervous, be nervous. That's what your central nervous system is for, to protect you against these new experiences. But we deal with it every day.
have fun.
So just have fun with it.
And I guess one of the things that was really striking was when, besides the landing pictures, was the glow. We went to Russell's Mercantile afterwards, and it's like hearing the tale of the tale. You know, how the stories and the stories and stories. And every time I see her, I still hear the stories. And I'm going to see her this weekend, and she'll tell me about it again.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and she'll probably ask me if I put on her clip again, because I made a 3-minute show last time. Well, anyways, we're going to take a short break and see some soaring pictures, and I think you're going to like what you see and enjoy. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Hi, we're back from break with Lori of Soaring NV, and I was just kind of showing this little picture of the wave camp because I always have a blast. And those of you that are into the future of soaring, you might want to attend this and get signed up early. You're also involved with educational programs.
Oh, yeah, that's a local cloud.
Yeah, a local cloud?
Yeah, that's a local wave cloud.
It's a good local wave cloud. But I guess we were talking that you're involved with education programs, and I think that's a brilliant way to you have like your education center type thing?
Well, Wave Camp is the start of our education season, if you will, in the spring, because flying in wave can be pretty extreme. It's cold, it's windy, it's beautiful, but people need to understand what they're doing when they go into wave. So that kind of kicks off our education system. Coming into the summer, when we have thermal flying, which requires heating of the Earth's atmosphere, as I said earlier, I tell people it's like a thermal's like a hot air balloon without the balloon. You want to get your glider in that and climb up, and then you can go to the next thermal. So we have week-long camps, we call them, where we have lectures and mentored flying and dual flying to teach people how to go places in a glider, because that's really what the sport's about at the sport end. Once you get on beyond a ride, if you want to be a glider pilot, most people want to go someplace.
Well, I absolutely love those wave camps. The what's it? His name Bodinger?
Gordon Bettger.
Becker. Didn't he land in Colorado Springs?
He flew called a downwind dash, so he took off. You know how the weather moves from west to east, so it was a wave condition, and he took off in Minden and landed in Colorado Springs.
My sister just moved there. I'm trying to tell her I got some experience in Colorado Springs. And then one of his other glider mates there also flew to the same place and had the same similar experience with getting out of their suit. They had like astronaut suits, and they're walking around in Kmart and
they're
buying clothes and things.
It's cold up there.
Yes.
So Gordon wears what is basically a sleeping bag, but it's like a sleeper thing. It's got legs and arms, but it's a big down puffy thing. And when he landed in Colorado Springs, he was quite warm. So yes, he had to go buy some clothes. He would be a great guest to have on. He's a great speaker, and talking about what he's done. Although, understand that he is highly skilled pilot. He flies professionally for FedEx.
Yes.
This is one of those don't try this at home scenarios. But the sport is a lot more than up and down. Last May, he flew 2,259 kilometers in a wave condition, yo-yoing back and forth in wave, a 12-and-a-half-hour flight. And it's extreme, and he's very, very good at it. But that's kind of what sport glider pilots work toward, is being able to go 500 kilometers or 1,000 kilometers and kind of go Mono Lake and back, or down to Mount Whitney.
That's wild.
It is. It's fun. It's really fun.
Well, these guys are pretty competitive sometimes. Mike, who owns the Lakeside Inn, he told a story at one of these wave camps about trying to break the altitude record. And he had a friend with him that had a beard, and I guess his beard didn't seal to the mask and went unconscious. Yeah. I just told that story the other day because it's such a moving story. You're with them.
Well, there's not a lot of air. Once you get above, we're restricted to staying below 18,000 feet, except with special permission in something called a wave window, which is really more like an elevator shaft. So it's a chunk of airspace defined that we can then, if we call the control tower and ask to use that space, they clear it of commercial traffic, and then we're allowed up to 28,000 feet. And once you get above about 22.5, there's really not a lot of oxygen up there. So making sure you have a mask that's fitted properly, that you're getting enough oxygen, knowing your signs of hypoxia, and really not staying up there too long is pretty much recommended, because you'll pass out fast.
Well, all the stories, and then the guys who are watching the radar are sharp as heck too.
Oh yeah.
So it really felt a lot safer after his presentation that there's eyes kind of watching your back.
We have transponders in our gliders, and so they can see you as a blip. They can also see you if they know you're there and you don't have a transponder, but we watch those guys carefully.
Excellent. Well, I know when I used to go there, it used to have like the one weather map on that has the blips. Is that going to be in your new one too?
That is Spot. It's called Spot. It's a satellite tracking device. They do a lot of advertising, actually, and they're used for not just aviation. In fact, they never intended to be used for aviation. They're meant for people who are doing backcountry or extreme sports and want people to know where they are in case they need a rescue. So we send spots off with people so that we can see where you are and when you're coming home. So yeah, we still do that.
That's awesome.
I don't know how we ever worked without them, really, because when people You know, you launch people at 1 o'clock and you know they're trying to fly for 5 hours and you wonder about 4.5 hours in, are they on their way home? Did they land somewhere and they don't have cell phone service so they can't tell us that they need a retrieve? But now we can see it all on spot. It's a little more,
yeah, it's awesome. I love going there, and I see things every day. And you had, like, in your classroom, you had, like, the weather center. Did people go there in the morning and kind of check out the weather? You let them borrow your machines there?
Well, every morning during our busy season, which is about to end at the end of September, we do a weather briefing at 9:30. Now, it started out as a way to get people to gather. And we thought, well, what are we going to do? We're going to get all these pilots together. Well, we might as well do a weather presentation. I tell pilots that it is, as pilot in command, it is their responsibility to check the weather for themselves. We do our weather presentation, but you know, the weather is a lot of analysis and then some guesswork. So the pilots need to be responsible for their own guesswork when they're out there away from the hangar. But we're pretty good at looking at radar, satellites, you know, movement of air, kind of guessing what's going to happen, how strong the thermals are going to be. And it's just a starting point for pilots that are doing their flight planning. But we do that every morning at 9:30. Anybody's welcome.
Well, I was just thinking you'd probably be perfect to help out weddings.
You could
be helping people. Because I was just thinking about, what if anyone's been married up in the air? Then I thought, hey, if I'm getting married at 2 o'clock and it might get turned windy at Lake Tahoe, I'm going to call you and I'd say, hey, is it be windy up there?
Well, you know what? Pilots have good weather. I mean, call an airport, they
that's
know.
what I was thinking. It's brilliant.
Because for us, I mean, it might just ruin your wedding, but for us, it's kind of a life and death thing.
Well, yeah. Well, when you're doing your education, have you had people come up and ask you stories like, do everyone people get married up there? Or?
Well, probably the number one question we get asked by people who are going for rides is whether or not they're going to go up with a pilot. And we always smile at that.
It's a slingshot.
I know. Not only do you go up with a pilot, but it's an FAA certified commercial pilot or one of my instructors, which is another degree of certification. And they're held to pretty strict standards. So yes, you do go up with a pilot.
Well, your chief instructor is Russell Holtz, and he has books out that you might want to check out. Russell Holtz's background, it's pretty intense.
Yeah, he has actually a degree in aeronautical engineering, and he teaches glider flying. And because he's an engineer, he has a very systematic approach to teaching. So he's got, checklists, guidelines. You always know where you are in his learning process and what you have left to learn. His books are very comprehensive. They're the only books you'll need.
Well, that's the only thing I like about your people. They're very intelligent, but they can speak to everybody. It's a very tough gift. I mean, you have to really be able to do it. A lot of smart people can't do that.
The gift of gab? Maybe it's one of my hiring characters.
The gift of talking in all those aeronautical areas and turning into layman's terms.
Oh, yeah.
Because I go to a lot of medical doctors, and I don't know what the heck they're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, we hope we're better communicators than some of those medical guys.
But Russell, he's got some skills, and if he's involved with your educational center at all, or...
Russell is my chief instructor.
Okay.
So he is, now Stuart Tattersall is my weatherman.
Okay.
So if you see somebody hanging around that looks like ZZ Top, that's my weatherman. Got a big beard. He's really good.
Excellent.
But Russell runs he's running the youth soaring program, and he's also my chief instructor for anybody who wants to get a glider add-on or get their glider license. So you may work with him or one of the other instructors on staff, but he's kind of directing that program.
Excellent. Well, right now, as far as equipment, how many gliders do you have? I was at the One Wave camp, and there's so many gliders there from other people, I couldn't tell what you had.
We have 6, soon to be 7 gliders.
All right.
We're getting another training glider because that's been a busy ship for us. So we have 2 cross-country gliders that are 20-meter, 40 to 1 glide ratio, so they can go great distances. We have 2 single-seaters. And then we're going to have 2 training gliders, the ASK-21, the fixed-gear 17-meter ship. And then, of course, we have our ride airplane, which can take 2 people sitting side by side in the back seat.
That was my next question.
And then the pilot sits in the front.
I saw a picture of that. I said, how big do you have to be to be able to get 2 people in there?
We have a 350-pound weight limit in the back. But it's not just weight. Sometimes if you're very thin but you have a big frame, it can be kind of uncomfortable back there. So, but we have people go sideways, and you can put your arm around her.
So give it a try. Bring the wife and see if you guys fit in and cuddle for a period of time. We're down to about a minute and a half. Did you want to give out any contact information? I think we have some behind us. I don't know if your website's up there or not.
Well, soaringnv.com, or come in and say hi. We're real easy to find at the Minden Tahoe Airport, and we would love to show you around.
Well, that's the thing. It's a place that you can stop in and gab a little bit, get some education, and check out everything we're saying on this to make sure it's okay. Well, Lori, thank you for being on Nevada Trails.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure.
I appreciate it. It's been Michael Smith for Nevada Trails, and go out and go soaring. Thank you very much.